There we go. There we go. All right. Hello, my name is Kaden, and today I want to talk about a big problem that we have in our society right now, and that would be our school system, or more importantly, the really big parts of our school system. Now, the question is, for most of us, we all know that our school system is initially broken. Now, the question is, how are we going to fix it? And I have the answer, and that answer is school choice. Now, there's a question that I want you to think over while I go through this speech, and that question is, if we were to set up our school system in a way that the schools would have to compete for students similar to how a business has to compete for customers, would that function better than it currently is? Now, the answer may surprise you. Now, there are several factors that go into how our school system is made up and how it is wrong, what's wrong with it. Now, the main culprit that I want to focus on is the teachers' unions. Now, the teachers' unions, ever since their creation back in 1916, have had a strong grip on our school system and the people running it. For years upon years, they've been forcing teachers who are not in their union to pay heavy, expensive, and mandatory dues, collecting about $300 million a year, which then they use to lobby back towards the government for more funding towards the public schools. For most of us, would think, yay, that's a really good thing. More money towards our public schools means better education, better quality learning. Nope, doesn't turn out to be that way, seeing as it's been happening for so long. Now, in 2017, it is averaged that 52% of California's overall budget is sent towards public schools. And as of 2019, according to the LA Times, Governor Gavin Newsom's latest budget plan projects a 101.8 billion in total spending, which includes both local and statewide operations for K through 12 schools. That's a 4.6 billion boost from the last summer's enacted budget and an astounding 35 billion increase from what lawmakers approved of in 2014. Now, that is a massive amount of money, especially towards public schools that don't tend to work out that well. Now, the question is, how are we going to fix it, or how are we even going to start fixing it? Now, that comes to the question that I asked you earlier in the speech. If we were to run our schools similar to a business where each school would have to compete for the students who need or want to attend to that school, would it function? Would it work really well? And the answer is yes. Yes, it would. And the answer is through school choice. Now, how school choice works is students receive funding from a very specific school funding from the government, which then parents are able to take and direct towards which particular school best fits their child and the needs of their child, rather than the government deciding where to put the child based on geographical location. Now, this could be decided between private, public, charter, or even homeschooling, like I was. Now, according to this, the state of California currently spends about $17,000 per pupil on K through 12 public education, including federal, state, and local tax, according to the California School Choice Foundation. Now, according to this, that's $17,000 that your child is actually giving to a particular school. Imagine if you could take that money and direct it towards a school that would best benefit them. And it doesn't matter how wealthy you are. It doesn't matter if you're lower class, middle class, or upper class. It would be an equal rule applied to everyone. Now, as for most of you have been wondering at this point, what the cost will be. And at this point, for those of you who are parents and for those of you who are taxpayers, most it will cost you is a lot of time and energy, the time to take into account which schools work best for your kids and which ones wouldn't work out. But even so, the results and benefits of having that choice to go where you want your child to go far outweighs any costs that I could come up with. Now, in conclusion, we've talked about kind of what school choice is. We've also talked about how the teachers' unions are using the school system to get what they want, which is higher wages to them, and why school choice is not only extremely important, but the best option we have. I encourage you to look into school choice and take into consideration maybe trying it out or voting for it. Because when we have the choice, we can shape the future however we want. Thank you and have a great day. And stop recording.